I think this is important because this next election cycle, Trump's going to go after China. They're going to have to figure this thing out. China's economic growth slows in second quarter. It slowed down to 4.7% in Q2, missing expected 5.1, and marking a decline from 5.3 in Q1. The slowdown is attributed to weak consumer demand and a prolonged property slump, despite efforts from policymakers to bolster confidence. Softening domestic demand conditions have more than offset the boost from export recovery, said economists from North Asia. Junyu Tam. Industrial production exceeded expectations, growing 5.3% in June, while retail sales grew only 2%, significantly below expectation. Fixed asset investments rose 3.9% in the first half of 2024. Consumer prices increased by 0.2%. Weak demand. New home prices fell by 4.5%, the steepest decline in 9 years. In response to the economic data, several banks revised their full-year growth forecast for China. Goldman Sachs reduced its estimate from 5% to 4.9%, JP Morgan from 5.2% to 4.7%, and Oxford Economics lowered its target to 4.8%. Tom, thoughts on China?
China's domestic economy is slowing down. And all economies have cycles. And right now, China's domestic economy is in the middle of a slowdown cycle. What's going to slow down their export economy is the election of Donald Trump, because he's going to put more manufacturing jobs and more jobs back in the United States. The same thing he did when he first came into office last time. Remember, he went straight to Ohio, straight to Indiana, convinced companies to put jobs back in the United States. Those things, a slowing in China is a theme that's going to be continued for a couple of years. Now, people say, well, what does that matter for China for me? Well, one of the ways it can matter for Americans is that energy prices are going to come down, because China's demand for energy during a slowdown is going to drop, meaning more oil and things are on the market to be bought by other people. We're going to go like hell here in the United States and be the world energy power we should be. And prices are going to come down, which will be great news for Americans in terms of plastics, gasoline, air travel, and heating oil. Those are the big things that hit the American pocketbook. So this is all connected in this global economy, and China is having a cycle coming down, and they're going to get additional pressure after the election of Donald Trump and the economic policies of the United States.
Tom, did you see the $10 trillion story of China's debt that they put? Did you see that story that just came out, or no?
Let me see I mean, they hid facts about how much national debt they really had.
Yes.
Oh, what a surprise. And now they got to figure out how to broker it and how to pay interest on it, just like any other country, such as the United States with our large national debt. That's an additional pressure that's going to be on them, because it's not a one-way street anymore, where they were actually buying our T-bills and buying our debt. They're not number one. Japan is number one buying our debt. So there's a lot of things happen in China. Here it is. This is exactly true. The Chinese economy is about to have some major correction points that are going to be in it. And it's not going to be just an open valve for trade with the USA. We're going to bring jobs back to the United States. And it's going to pinch their economy even more. And now we're seeing, what was the iceberg? More of the iceberg is under the water than above the water. Guess what's been below the water? Lies about the Chinese economic truth. What a surprise. They won't let their currency actually float with other international currencies. No surprise that they're hiding the fact that they also have a big debt problem. Well, welcome to reality.
Yeah. Well, speaking of hiding things, Tom, I don't know if you remember this, but there was this thing that happened 2019, 2020. It was called COVID. The last time a president was holding China accountable, making them pay their fair share, doing everything with trade. Randomly on election year, this random virus came out of a lab that we owned and shut down the world. And, Biden's in with China. So is Gavin Newsom. He treats Xi Jinping like he's a god when he comes to San Francisco. I'm just concerned that if Trump comes back in, we have to be wary about this China, who also has been buying land all over the United States, right next to our military installations. They're buying up all this land, and I'm one of these paranoid people that Pat was talking about when the movie Leave the World Behind shows that China is one of the people that does this attack that cripples the world. I wouldn't put it past these people. Pissing them off, to me, is what caused this last pandemic. So
that's another that
they're not going away, and China's got a lot of levers to pull and a lot of things to do. They're not going away. But to have them having an economic cycle when we get an election and new economic policy only helps us. But the long game is what they play, and they're not going away.
And on top of that, this month, July 30th at 6 p.m., I'm doing a Zoom in regards to the AI revolution, which we're going to release a white paper, which we'll give to you. If you haven't yet registered for that either, here's a QR code to get registered for the event that we're going to be having. It's a private webinar. It's only limited to 3,000 people. It's not something that's going to be available to everybody. It's first come, first serve. You register, you'll be able to be a part of it. Rob, if you have that flyer to show for the AI revolution Zoom that we're hosting as well, so people can go on the QR code and get registered, that'd be great. It's that right there. Just go on that QR code, register for it. AI is here for business. A lot of people are leveraging it to win and take their businesses to the next level. It's how we took our business to take the valuation of it 3x more than what it was. We went from 5 times EBITDA to 15 times EBITDA. We're doing this webinar this month, free, but you got to make sure you get a spot on it. Again, July 30th, Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go to the QR code to get registered.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.